Spider-Man.
Okay.
You got a big Spider-Man. Ah.
When we're demonetized.
We are not starting the episode with that.
No, start every episode with that audio. Yes.
Oh my god, that's gonna be in the intro of the actual
We should do
episodes now.
Spider-Man. We should do a Spider-Man podcast.
Spider-Man
Okay.
podcast. All right. Who wants to do the intro? Because I did it for Indiana Jones. All right,
Yes.
Derek. Derek.
We're just selecting Derek. Yay,
Okay.
Derek. We love you,
Alright, I
Derek.
guess
Yay.
we're doing this. Alright, so welcome everyone to CinemaDopes. I'm Derk. Who are you people?
I'm Leatherface.
No, the fuck you ain't. No. Ah, my ears.
Well, if you couldn't tell by that, we just watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Released in 1974, directed by Toby Hooper, is his name, right?
Toby Hooper, yeah.
Toby Hooper.
Toby
Yes.
with an E too, not even a Y.
Toby Jones.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could tell he's based because of that.
Base, not cringed.
Yeah. So we rolled this back in July. We rolled the wheel to see what we'd watch, and we landed on Texas Chainsaw. We just got done watching it, and we were probably just gonna give our thoughts about it and everything. So, just a brief look at the movie. It came out in 1974, as previously stated. Toby Hooper made it as more of a critique on the meat industry and just how meat is like.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, it was made to be like a satirical look at it of just how meat is prepped and everything, and just how like scary it could be, especially for like if you were an animal and everything.
That's wild.
So he makes this in Texas.
It's also effective, I guess.
It's very effective, yeah.
Is he vegan?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a good question.
I think this made Wes Craven when he watched it vegan, like the director of Nightmare on Elm Street. Someone became vegan because of the movie, which is really funny to think
It's
about.
like one of the first Google results. If you Google is Toby Hooper.
This was like the first mainstream horror movie. This was the one that is still remembered to this day when you think of the golden age of horror movies. I know the golden age is technically Universal, stuff like that, but the uprising new film wave movement of the 70s, this was one of the first big ones. And this predated Halloween by about 4 years. And it's really interesting because it kind of sets the tone, or it kind of does its own things, surprisingly enough, for a scary movie. It doesn't really take place at night for more than half the movie. It is people just going, it is them going to a terror, they get terrorized by it, and it just kind of did a lot of its own thing and didn't really stick with the conventions of the usual movies at the time.
Yeah.
Well, at the same- Yeah,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I like the detail about how most of the movie does take place in broad daylight, because I feel especially with a lot of where horror's been the past few decades, I feel there's just the typical trope of just everything happening at night. I liked how a decent amount of this movie is during the day, and I don't know, especially the first time I watched it, because this was actually the second time I watched it, but the first time I watched it I just thought that detail was what stuck out to me the most was just a lot of those memorable scenes at the beginning are just yeah, it's still daytime.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, since literally this was like you said, one of the first horror movies made, right? At least one of the earliest slasher type movies.
Yeah, it's really funny. So in I think it was 1973, I believe, they had Black Christmas, which was a Christmas themed. It was a Christmas themed slasher movie. Of all people, it was from the same director as A Christmas Story.
What?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So he made two completely different Christmas movies. And it's actually a really good slasher movie, but even that came out. But this is the first one to really become a mainstream, iconic feature of horror movies. This one was the one that really did the sequels and had the big series behind it. It had an iconic attribute of it, which was the killer It like really just like stuck to it. And if we ever cover Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, there's a really funny story behind that one of it being made. The sequel came out actually like 12 years later.
Yeah, I was about to ask, when was the sequel released there?
The sequel was 1986, and it was kind of made as like more of a parody of itself.
That
tracks. You think it'd sound like really bad, but it's actually really high regarded in the Texas Chainsaw community.
Is it considered a better movie? Because I've never seen it. This is the very first time I've ever seen a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and I'm very new to all this.
Probably a less iconic movie, but it does have its like own really cool moments, and it has like a unique and like it made it new characters for it. Like Leatherface is still in and everything, but it has like it's just a very batshit crazy movie. If we ever get around to watching it, it has literally Dennis Hopper playing a sheriff, dual wielding chainsaws.
What?
We'll get there when we get there.
Sounds like a fever dream.
If we ever get there, that does sound like a fever dream.
Yeah.
Or like it sounds like a movie that like you think you saw like when you were younger, but like you kind of felt like it was like fake, so you weren't sure if like it's like legit or not.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever have a movie? This is already off topic of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but did you ever have a movie like that?
A movie like what? The ones that we've seen like in the back of our mind?
Yeah, where you think
like,
you've seen it, but really you like barely saw it. I guess is the right word.
I remember there was a movie I watched when I was like very young, and I thought I had a good understanding of it, but not necessarily. It was called The Frighteners. It had Michael J. Fox in it. And Jake Busey plays the villain. Yeah, it's a really looked movie. Funnily enough, like it's really good for what it is. But we're not talking about The Frighteners. We're talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right. So I don't know when we did Indiana Jones, we talked about sort of our personal histories with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and since this was picked by Rex, I want to like kind of pick his brain here on why he picked Texas Chainsaw Massacre and his sort of background with it.
Did I pick this movie?
Yes, you picked this movie.
Yeah, I do not remember that, but yeah, I did this. I think this is either the third or fourth time I've seen this movie.
Oh yeah.
The first time I saw it was not that long ago. It was with Derk, right?
Yeah.
When you got your
Blu-ray copy.
Yeah.
It's fancy
that's
Blu-ray
right.
copy.
So we'll flash that real quick here.
Which that was what, like over a year ago, something like that.
No, that was earlier this year.
Yeah, that was like third
Was it?
semester.
Yeah,
That feels like so long ago.
It was like back in like
Doesn't it?
March or April, like somewhere.
Is
around
that
time.
March? Oh, it was. Oh shit! Wow, I'm old. I'm old.
We're gonna date ourselves with this recording here. This is recorded on December 30th, 2023. So like, I don't blame you for feeling like it's felt like years ago.
The very end. It's the very end of the year. It's the
Very end of the year. So yeah, you can put two and two together. It's taken us a while to record this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's how it is. But anyway, so yeah, I really loved the movie the first time watching it. But I think now after seeing it again, I don't like it as much.
Oh.
And I'm not really sure why that is. I guess because now I guess I already know what's going to happen, so it's not really a movie that where there's a million details, and if you watch it a new time you'll see something new. That's not really what this movie is. But I do think that even after seeing this movie multiple times, it's still very, very good at building both atmosphere and tension, which I feel like is very important for horror movies. Like Derek, you were talking about how, like, current horror movies, there's it's always like in the dark at night, and even just like trailers now. I think I saw a trailer for like a horror movie where they're like at a pool,
Oh yeah.
Or
Night
something?
Swim or something like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
And that I've seen that trailer like 2 or 3 times, and I have no interest in that movie. It doesn't. There's nothing special for me for that movie. It's just people at a pool and they die, and that's it. That's all I know about the movie, and I don't care. But I feel like, because I don't know. There's nothing intriguing about that movie. There's nothing, or at least the trailer. I guess I haven't seen. The movie's not out yet. I don't think, but there's nothing that grabs my attention or makes me wonder what is happening. But I feel like with Texas Chainsaw, one, I have a strong sense of like, well, like even just in just the beginning of the movie, we have like all these weird random dudes hanging out in a graveyard, and one, I don't know who they are, I don't know what they're doing there, but it's just interesting seeing our like main group of protagonists enter in this kind of world where you don't really know what's going on, and they're trying. I think our final girl, she was looking for her what's it called? Grandpa, like her grandpa's gravestone or whatever, which is a simple enough goal for like the beginning of the movie, just I don't know, to visit like a gravestone, but it's not like attached to anything like supernatural or like big. It's just a simple task.
It's just like a simple inciting incident, mostly, of just like you hear the police reports of like a grave got dug up.
That's right, yeah.
And
right.
I think this was like a multiple time occurrence at this point, and I think they were driving down to check to see if their gravesite, or their grandfather's gravesite, was okay. And
right.
weren't they going back to like their family home?
Yeah, well, they were going to their I think it was Sally's grandparents' home, something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
So that makes sense, right? That makes sense that you would go back to your grandparents' home if you're in the area. Might as well like revisit some weird old childhood like area that you had once.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the grandfather's house.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. But anyway, I think with this film, it has a nice progression of building up or like our
just things getting weirder and weirder.
Yeah, right, right. For our or more dangerous for our main characters, which I feel like it's not like too fast. I feel like it's worse for a horror movie to be too fast than to be too slow.
Yeah.
Because then it's not, if it's too fast, it doesn't feel earned, or like what's the word? It doesn't feel natural, I guess.
It doesn't feel well paced.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I get.
And so I'm glad that this movie still with its pacing, even though it's a bit slower than I remember. Because I guess the latter half of the movie happens so fast, and people die so quickly in the end of the movie that by the time we get to our final character, it moves. It's all running. It's all chainsaw swinging and running, and then eventually it's at night, and then it's back to day again.
Well,
and
I think that's what I appreciate so much about it. How it's just very back to basics, bare bones, and it's just a group of friends driving down. They go to the wrong spot. Well, first you get like a little hint of that with the hitchhiker. It's like, oh yeah, weird.
Right, bad
and
omen.
It's weird's happening.
Yeah, and I just appreciate how it's just like an hour and 20-minute movie. Doesn't really waste your time. You don't really need to know too much about the characters. It gives you just enough to know, like, yeah, they're friends, checking down, and that's it. Like, all the horror can happen.
Quote-unquote friends, because they argue with the one guy a lot.
Oh, yeah,
Franklin?
Franklin,
or Franklin.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, what group of friends doesn't argue?
True.
Right?
We argued with each other during the commentary.
Cade, fuck you. I hate you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess in that retrospect, it actually feels very real I heard that the actor who played Franklin, that the other actors didn't really get along with him because they were used to just how his character was. And I thought, and that's not how he actually is, because he's just doing a part. And I thought that was, I don't remember where I heard that, but I thought that was interesting. And it works. You know, I feel like Franklin, and it's also interesting to me that you don't really see a lot of, like, main characters in wheelchairs in horror movies. Yeah. Even though, like, here, I feel like here it's very effective at feeling like you can't, you're not fully mobile, so if you are being chased, you can't, like, escape.
He's, like, more vulnerable.
Yeah, right. And I think it's very effective for, you know, us, the audience, feeling like we can't escape whatever the hell, you know, is happening in Texas, in this weird part of Texas.
Mm-hmm. Though I will say, I'll argue that what's it called? Mac and Me is is a horror movie.
It's scary.
It's a scary looking movie, man. And the main protagonist is in a wheelchair.
I think he gets shot. Doesn't he get shot in, like, a deleted scene?
Does he? Yeah, I think he does get shot.
Yeah.
I think it's like he gets shot and then they try to blow up the aliens and then... Yeah, I'm not joking. They try to blow up the aliens and then literally they're just like, oh, we can't destroy them. Well, we might as well have them be our citizens so we can control them.
So if you can't blow them up, adopt them.
You can't blow them up, assimilate them.
Assimilate.
I feel like the alien in that movie looks like he was, like, AI generated, but, like, it came out, like, way back when.
Yeah,
so.
that's a practical puppet.
That's literally if you put in the prompt of E.T. ripoff, or, like, E.T. like
E.T.
creature.
with a mix of Yoda, yeah.
Yeah. I love how we're talking about Mac and Me and not the most blatant obvious thing, which is the product placement. It's literally made as a McDonald's ad from the McDonald's company. I think they produced the movie.
Huh.
I was not aware.
I mean,
not aware
yeah,
of
that makes sense, since literally they spend, like, what, 20 minutes in that movie and at a McDonald's.
I think isn't there a McDonald's dance sequence in the movie?
Yes,
or
there
something
is.
Like that?
Sorry, just a preface, in Mac and Me, not in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
How are we talking about Mac and Me?
Because the main character in Mac and Me is in a wheelchair, and that connected the dots between him and Franklin.
Yeah.
Because Rex makes a really good point. Just in general, there's not a lot of wheelchair or physically disabled, like, protagonists.
Or even like I feel like, especially for horror, someone with like crutches, would be great in a horror movie, especially if they're like the final character. And they're like trying to run away from somebody. That would be amazing at building tension.
Their final stand, they stopped trying to like run away and said they just pick up the crutches and get ready to just swing.
Yeah,
Start swinging.
Exactly. That would be amazing. That'd be amazing to see.
If we're being more specific, this is a rarity because he's a character in a wheelchair that isn't named Wheels.
If this movie came out in, like, the 90s, he would definitely be called Wheels.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes it would.
Yeah. So anyway,
no, he'd be nicknamed Professor Xavier. Sorry,
come on, Professor X, get up the stairs. I can't, I'm sorry.
I can't walk. The amount of Texas in this movie is so fun.
Oh,
like,
yes.
Everyone having that Western drawl.
It's fun, but also so, like, hammed up, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, that's what makes it great.
Like, I couldn't understand a word those guys said when they met the people at the field. I couldn't understand a word they said.
Yeah.
I could kind of understand. I could understand enough.
All I heard was there was killings, and then the one drunk guy started laughing, like trying.
Right.
Trying to be ominous, and I'm just like, okay, that's what we got.
I love that guy. That one guy. He's like laying down and just babbling. I love that man.
Yeah, he like spits up some of his drink.
Yeah, sorry. I was more distracted by the fact that everyone's wearing denim, like full-on denim suits in Texas.
Yeah, overalls and jeans and
the hottest looking footage you'll ever see. It looks so uncomfortably warm.
Yeah, because like I'm pretty sure you mentioned this in the commentary track. It looks just like a yellow filter the entire time.
It's so muggy.
It looks so like just miserable there.
Yeah. It looks like piss.
Yes.
Like there's just a layer of piss on everything.
Yes.
Literal like pissant nowhere. The atmosphere is so great because like it's just like these are the locals and like they're like pretty sus. You go out in like the deep, you pick up a hitchhiker, he cuts his hand, he lights a fire in your van.
That's your average day in Texas.
Yeah, that's a good segue into like the next section of it, of just like the violence in general in that movie. Honestly, while there were some moments where it was like pretty bad, in general it's not that violent of a movie.
It isn't really.
Yeah, there's not really a lot of blood at all anywhere.
There's not a lot of blood, but it's a lot like more detailed like situations you're in. Like the whole room full of bones is like terrifying.
Or the meat hooks. The meat hooks.
And the meat hooks.
Oh, the meat hooks.
Right, yeah.
The meat hooks and the guy cutting himself is definitely the two most like hair sticking up on the back of your neck type moments.
Yeah.
It's more of a disturbing movie rather than like a gory movie. And a lot of people seem to overlook that because when you think of the movie The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like the most like overly boastful name for a horror movie ever. And like movies like Friday 13th and Halloween are probably more graphic for what they show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Hooper, like he when the movie was coming out, he wanted to try to get a PG for the movie.
Wow,
and that was like the first goal.
Really?
And then the MPAA gave them like an X, so they had to like recut to like get it down to R. But yeah, he wanted a PG, so.
That's insane. Well, again, that makes sense because there wasn't really
PG-13.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that kind of makes sense.
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah.
Remember when we did Indiana Jones? Temple of Doom was one of the first PG-13 movies.
That's right, because if I was
right,
it's so weird.
Right?
It's so weird to think
that.
It's so weird to think that Raiders of the Lost Ark was rated R originally.
Was it really?
It was rated R. Like that was.
I didn't think so.
Things. No, it was.
Oh, hold on. I gotta look that up.
I know Temple of
Doom didn't exist.
I know Temple of Doom was originally rated R. But I didn't think Raiders was.
I thought R was rated PG. I think Temple of Doom was rated PG, weirdly enough.
That seems so out of left field.
And that was like the main thing with it, because they didn't have a way of splitting it.
Yeah, so they just made a new rating, which that's fair.
I know Gremlins was also like another movie that helped create PG-13.
That was the main one.
It was those two movies, yeah. But yeah, I don't think I can even see it being considered a PG movie, like, even back then. There's no way Texas Chainsaw Massacre could have been a PG movie.
Yeah, no.
No way.
Especially
no
with what
way.
we saw. There's no way.
No, but I guess the very, very end of the movie, there's a lot of, I guess with, what's her name, Sally? She's probably as bloody as it gets in the movie by the end, where she, after jumping out of, 2 or 3 windows? And
she jumped out of two windows.
2 windows.
Yeah,
two windows, got hit by a hammer twice, got
sliced
a couple times in the back by Nebbins. That's his name.
Is that his name?
Nubbins?
Nebbins?
It's Nubbins.
Nubbins?
It's,
yeah.
Nubbins?
It reminds me of the cat's name in
Niblets.
Cat. All right, Nevin. Time to die.
Yeah, so it's, I believe in... Okay, so here is what makes it so confusing. I think the family in this timeline is...
there's multiple timelines.
I was about
what
to
the
ask the
fuck?
same exact question.
What?
I know. I think it is the Hewitt family at first. Or either that or the Sawyer family. So, okay, so the timeline going in, there's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which follows the original family. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 is a brand new family. One of the earliest on-screen debuts of Viggo Mortensen before, like, fucking Lord of the Rings.
And
Yeah. So it's a brand new family. Like, it's in the bayou. It's in the Mississippi.
That's actually a cool idea.
It's in, like, the swampy area of Texas, not in Mississippi.
Right. I was about to ask you that. It's like, wait, then that's not Texas.
Yeah, I know. And then there's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, The Next Generation, with Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey before they made it big.
What?
Oh.
That sounds like
What?
a fake movie.
That doesn't sound real, man. What the fuck?
It is not a good movie at all. It is hated so much.
Oh.
But, and then there was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake with Arlie Ermy from, like, 2004, I believe, 2003? 2003. And then they had Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, same family from...
The beginning.
The beginning?
Yeah, it was supposed to be, like, the origin story of, like, Arlie Ermy and, like, that family and everything.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
Now we're getting into the stage of movies where literally they have to, like, pick it dry as much as they can.
But yeah, so the remake it's a new timeline or whatever. Then they do Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D, which is supposed to be a sequel to the very first Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh.
So they did pretty much what Halloween 2018 did.
Yeah.
But like 8 years prior. And then we get Leatherface.
Yeah.
And then we get Texas Chainsaw Massacre, another, like, the third movie of the same name.
That's wild.
And this is a brand new movie supposed to be a sequel to Leatherface, I think.
Oh.
That's wild.
That's confusing. I hate that.
I don't like it.
Meanwhile, you think that's confusing? The Halloween thing is also
Oh
very
my
confusing.
god.
That's like the
travesty.
only series that can. That's like the only movie series that can like compete with it and just.
Friday the 13th would like to talk to you.
No, Friday the 13th is pretty clear cut when you look at things.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Listen, in comparison to how many times they rebooted, no, it's not.
Okay, explain to me how Friday the 13th...
Say what you want about Friday the 13th, but 1 through 8 at least tried to stay in Camp Crystal Lake.
What... Okay, tell me how Freddy vs. Jason connects with Jason X, then.
That's not what I'm trying to say. Friday the 13th, 1 through 8, it tried to stay in the same basic storyline.
So did,
They didn't try to reinvent until part 9.
Right, yeah. And then meanwhile you have Nightmare on Elm Street, which has, like, what, 3 movies?
They at least... Yeah, well, Nightmare on Elm Street actually tried to stay at least with the same continuity, except for part 2, and they just forgot about part 2.
Well, that one doesn't exist.
Yeah, it was too gay for them.
What?
Oh, we'll get back to that another day.
If we ever do.
Yeah. So anyway, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, for what was supposed to be a basic movie, sure had a really confusing series.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
I've only seen the first one.
So anyway, the two friends split up after ditching Nubbins.
Yeah.
So Nubbins does his whole Nubbins thing. They kick him out of the van.
Nubbins thing.
They should have kicked him out like 10 minutes prior, but I digress.
They should have kicked him out as soon as they gave the Franklin the knife. They should have kicked him out instantly.
Yeah, because that's already weird.
Franklin's like, would you cut yourself like that? I don't know if anyone would be able to.
Yeah, he's literally instigating the guy. Like,
and then his friend that he's talking to just goes, no. So they make a pit stop actually beforehand. They go to the gas station.
Yes.
Which is like, we don't do gas here. It's like, but you have a gas pump.
The best part is literally he goes, when does the gas arrive? Oh, in the afternoon. Dog, it's the afternoon right now. What are you talking about?
It's already, like, what?
The sun is already at 1. What do you mean?
I want to go back to the days where you could just be driving down in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and there's just one solitary gas pump.
I know, that's
tied to a tiny ass convenience store.
That's insane. How do you keep that business going?
I don't know. This was before boomers ruined the economy.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, so I have a question now that we're talking about that part in the gas station. The attendant that just wipes the windshield, that's it. That's all he is.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
And honestly, I'm kind of with it, because you kind of expect, like, this guy's off, but then you don't expect the guy in charge to be the real killer here.
Comes in with this, like, massive chrome dome out here. He has a big ass forehead.
He does, yeah.
For all that brains he's keeping up in his dome piece.
He knows
He's the smartest character. He got out while he could. Yeah. He clocked out. He was the smartest guy in the movie, and he didn't know.
He's just a simple man trying to make his way across Texas.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, that was... I don't think that was intentional, but, like, I don't know. With what we've seen with just throughout the movie at that point, it just seems like, okay, any one of these people in Texas is kind of weird. So... But then after that, they go to the house?
Yes, they stop at the grandparents' house, like their childhood home.
Right,
it is
yeah.
full of spiders. It is old.
Full of yummy spider snacks.
Nice protein, yes, beautiful protein.
Yummy. By the way, the main guy, like the nice guy they saw at the gas station, his name is Drayden Sawyer.
Oh, I see.
So Sawyer is the last name that they use.
Oh, okay.
I think in the remake they did Hewitt.
Oh, okay. That's weird. That's I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
That hurts my mind.
They make it to the house. Franklin is having a little poopy pants tantrum because he can't go up the stairs.
It's not even that he can't go up the stairs. He's struggling to go up a hill.
That sounds like his problem.
Struggling to get in the house.
Yeah, he's struggling to get in the house, which honestly, that's valid of him. He has friends. They know he is in a wheelchair and needs help, and they just ditch him.
Yeah.
I do the same.
Not even that. They argue with him at the gas station about, like, the knife and the blood in the van.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
right in front of other people.
When they kicked Nubbins out, he smeared the blood they used. The blood they got from his cut up hand that he cut himself, and he just smeared it all over the paint job of the fucking van. Very rude. To be honest, he didn't need to do that.
Very inconsiderate of him.
What an asshole.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like
Unbelievable.
this guy.
Unbelievable guy.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's another thing about this whole movie, where I'm just like, I get it, it's a short movie already, but like there were some parts where it kind of dragged a little bit, and it's mainly because of Franklin and Sally arguing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. They could have cut out that 3 minutes of them arguing, and it still would have been able to be played in theaters.
They could cut that out and honestly just make like the argument about them having the flashlight later in the movie like a lot shorter. Oh
yeah, that happened. I did like that scene though, because like you could see both sides of just like Franklin, like, I can't do shit here. I want the flashlight, and Sally's like, I want to look for my friends.
Yeah, but like both points make no sense until it explains why they don't just leave, because they don't have the keys. Like there's a good 2 minutes where they're just arguing for no apparent reason, and then it's just like, why can't you just leave? Like 3 of your friends have just disappeared. We've jumped ahead so far, by the way, which we'll come back to. But yeah, 3 of their friends are just dead, and they're just arguing on who gets to hold a flashlight, because one wants to go look for him and one wants to stay at the car that, until explained later, doesn't have any keys in it. It makes it therefore useless. I don't know. It's a very logical thing to think of, but like, I get it. They're high on emotions and like trying to figure out stuff. But I don't know. That's just how I am with horror movies. It's like, it makes no sense to me. But again, I'm not in the situation, so I can't speak for it.
Yeah, no, I just figure in this genre that all logic is just like thrown out the window. Like stuff happens.
Except when you have a movie when literally it sometimes goes into the logic.
Yeah, but
like Scream.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what Scream did? I've actually never seen Scream.
You've never seen Scream?
No, I have not.
Scream?
I haven't seen
Scream?
it either.
Okay.
I'm a very big newbie when it comes to horror, so yeah.
So
yeah, Scream's great. I love Scream.
I've seen Scream 1 and 2, and I've seen clips of the other Scream movies. Most recently, like the most recent Scream movie, apparently, like one of the characters is like on the phone with Ghostface because that's his thing, and she just goes, "Hold on 1 second," and then. And Ghostface just goes, "Wait, what?" And she hangs up on him, and then redials the number to know where it's ringing, and therefore know where Ghostface is. It's actually, and apparently when I told that to my brother, he's like, "So they just copied Scary Movie." I'm like, "Did that really happen? Scary Movie?"
I've never seen Scary Movie either.
Is he saying Scream copied Scary Movie?
Because apparently Scary Movie already did that bit.
Scary Movie came out after, though.
No, I know, but like this is the most recent Scream movie.
Oh, that one. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I was so confused. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I'm saying the most recent Scream movie did that, and I told my brother about it, and he was like, "Yeah, Scary Movie did that before." So who's copying who now?
That's actually great.
Anyway,
It's not copying, it's an homage.
Yeah.
It's an homage.
But
good at it. It's their.
If you ever do watch the first Scream movie, that's a good movie to it. Honestly, that's one of my favorite.
It's a good beginner horror movie. Honestly,
it is a very good beginner horror movie, and it's honestly in my top 5 horror movies.
Yeah. What's top 1?
The Thing.
What's your favorite? Oh.
That's fair. Yeah.
The Thing. It's
a very great movie.
Easily a perfect movie.
Right on.
Yeah, and very rewatchable too.
Very rewatchable, yes. I just watched it
very
for
much so.
Halloween, and it was very good. So, I mean, it's John Carpenter. Of course, it's good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where were we with Texas Chainsaw?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Where were we with that?
So the two go out. Like they split from the group. They have their little fun. They're frolicking. They're being young and youthful.
Mm-hmm.
And then.
They were going to a watering hole, right?
Yeah, that was
a swimming hole. They're going to a swimming hole.
Yeah, that's right. A swimming hole. That's right.
Ew.
Because it's hot and sweaty out in Texas.
It do be pretty steamy.
Which that's the thing.
They step into the house. Are they looking for directions?
No. Wasn't that house like the? Oh, do you mean the Leatherface house?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I think they were lost. They're like trying to find directions.
So they go in. They go in, and it is a nice shot of like he goes in. It's scary. I think did he notice the bones yet, or I think he did.
I think he noticed the bones on, like the back of the behind the staircase along that wall. He saw the bones because he saw the bones at the old house that they were before.
Yeah.
He saw that and was
like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they were at the old house.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he goes in, he trips, and then when he collects himself, he just sees... Oh, first before this, he follows pig noises happening.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of oinking and stuff, yeah.
Like, down the hall, next to the stairway.
Yeah, the squealing pig.
He follows it into a red room, he trips, he collects himself, and he sees Leatherface...
Yeah, it's such a jarring introduction.
What makes it so great, though, is there's no music during it. He just shows up, clubs him. The only sound is him, like, getting hit and him, like, twitching.
That is great. Okay. That is something I did not expect it because, 1, it's a 70s movie, and 2, it's a horror movie. That's just something I know is usually what you do, is you have, a musical sting, and then like the murder happens, but no, there was no music at all.
Nope.
Like Seb said.
There's not really much music at all in this whole film.
I think really there's only music a little bit. Like in the beginning, of course, there's like music playing in the background.
Oh right, that's right.
The music playing in the convenience store, and I think the only instrumental stuff is like during the chase.
Oh, that might be. Yeah, I think you're right. And also in the when I think there's music playing in the van
Yes.
when they're driving.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, that's right. But then that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So it lets you kind of absorb the film, I guess, naturally, or it was actually, I always forget that he trips before he gets murdered, and I feel like that's a brilliant way of, kind of taking whatever you think is gonna happen, and then immediately now you don't know what to expect because you weren't anticipating that, and then Leatherface appears, and I think that's actually a very great way to introduce. Well, I guess you don't really know that he's the main villain. I guess it's kind of up to debate who's like the main villain of the piece, but
I kind of think the main villain is the guy at the convenience store.
The father, right?
Because he seems definitely like the most methodical out of the three of them.
Yeah.
Well, four of them technically.
Oh yeah, that's right. There are four.
You can't leave out the most important character, that being Grandpa.
Grandpa.
But we'll get there when we get
Grandpa.
But yeah, the introduction of Leatherface is solid. Like, it's definitely like out of nowhere, which it can work, especially for a movie like this. But yeah, then he's killed, and then what? It's not Sally. What the other girl's name? It's,
the
like,
brunette.
Yeah. The like most iconic shot apparently in the entire movie is her walking towards the house, which at that point, again, I get it's like, I get why, because you're like, all right, where's my friend at? But if you just don't hear him for like a solid 10 minutes after calling his name, you run.
Yeah, no, you just run away. Don't investigate. No.
And the worst part is she not only goes in the house and is then like attacked by Leatherface. No, there's a solid like 5 minutes or more of her just investigating and then finding the bone room. And
Yes.
it takes her like 3 minutes to just stand up.
Yeah, and the chicken. There's like a chicken there too, and like a bench.
There's that bench on made of bones there actually goes hard there.
That's modern art. Macabre art, but modern, you know.
It's disgusting, but like if it wasn't real bones, it would actually. I feel like someone would actually buy that.
Yeah, that's like a perfect. Well, if it was plastic, it would be a perfect Halloween
Right.
decoration.
They would sell that at Hot Topic in the back section.
Yes.
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 Section.
But yeah, just to. Then I forget how she gets caught. I know she like doesn't Leatherface just come into the room and then.
Yeah, she tried to run away.
Yeah, she tries to run. Leatherface catches her.
You get that horrifying shot of her trying to fly out the door, but she gets like caught in midair, like as she tries to throw out, and then she gets put on a fucking meat hook.
Which I was expecting. I'll be honest. This is gonna sound graphic, so like honestly, I don't know if we want to include this bit, but I thought full on there was gonna be like a crunch noise.
Oh yes.
Like it was gonna like hit her spine specifically, but no, it just hits her in the shoulder.
Yeah.
Like it's still effective though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I tensed up like the entire time.
Oh yes. It's a visceral experience seeing her, being captured or like being swallowed by the house.
Yeah.
And then who was the third to die?
The third to die was the driver.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because he goes after the first two.
Yeah, which like again, that's like one that just happens. Like,
yeah, and also stupid because if you don't know where your friends are, why would you go alone?
Exactly.
Why?
Why would you not go with Sally?
Yeah, exactly. Like, bro, you don't know where they. And also, why not have you already? Oh, I guess they don't have phones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
oh
that's
yeah,
right.
That's another thing. You could not make this movie nowadays.
No.
Try.
Yeah, unless if you somehow were able to explain that no one had any cell phone.
Or maybe like it's just a dead zone where like cellular like phone service just doesn't work.
That yeah, that's true.
Be a dead zone. If most of PA is a dead zone, that would definitely be a dead zone.
True.
The PA Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The phone line massacre.
Chainsaw Massacre, you mean?
No, because they're all from Texas.
Ain't nothing about Texas.
What
Ain't
you say
nothing.
about Texas? That they're stupid. Okay, so, but yeah, the meat hook scene.
Oh yeah, wonderful.
I just think it is really well done. Even though it's not like super grotesque, it gets the point across, and it's just like the last bit of strength leaving her body as she slides down the hook. It's like horrifying.
Yeah. That's
and then Leatherface is like, "Oh, here's your boyfriend. I'm gonna just do some carvery myself here."
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just hard cuts to first a fan, and then just like the other friend group just talking and like arguing, like, where'd they go?
Where'd they go?
Where the heck are they?
Where are those dadgum fringe fires?
Yeah. I think I saw him 20 miles down the store right there.
I thought I saw him down the Skewka over there.
Spits out their comedically large thing of chew. Spits in a little spittoon, makes a.
That's gonna be a great peek in the mic there.
Yeah. So anyway, they realize something's up. I think. Don't they go for? Was it the dude that went in, like the guy with like the perm?
Yeah.
Like, didn't he try looking for him?
Yeah, the guy with the glasses that was the driver. He went in next, and then tried to go look for him.
They looked for him. He checked out a fridge that was moving. It was a girl who stood up. And then he was like, "Oh!" He
went, it turned into a Benny. Ball. Yeah, it turned into Hank Hill, and then.
And then, unfortunately, Leatherface isn't a fan of King of the Hill, which is, I guess that's his opinion, because he fucking, like, demolishes the dude with a hammer.
Nah, man, South Park all the way.
Oh, you're one of those people.
I don't even watch them.
You're one of those people.
Leatherface would be one of those people.
What, a King of the Hill or South Park fan?
A South Park fan.
Yeah, that kind of tracks.
So anyway,
Melvin
so that
seems
happens.
like a Family Guy kind of person.
So that happens. It becomes nighttime.
Yeah, it just instantly becomes night. Like no show, like don't show any of the sun setting or like a shot of the sun setting and coming night. Nope, it's just instantly nighttime.
Yeah, just smash cuts to the moon.
Yeah. Which effective, I guess, but yeah. Yeah, and then the whole flashlight argument happens, and then Sally and Franklin go into the woods, and honestly, an honest-to-God jump scare happens in that movie, where I'm like, oh, that was a pretty good jump scare there, where Leatherface just comes in and just, like, starts chopping down Franklin.
Yeah,
yep.
It's just them going down the trail, like, with the flashlight, and then all of a sudden, he just comes out of nowhere from the darkness.
Out from the dark, out from the shadow.
He got dang Franklin.
He came out like Batman in the night.
Yeah.
With a chainsaw, too.
With a chainsaw, yeah.
And then a hilarious pursuit happens.
Where just basically not really, but like the Benny Hill theme, I can just imagine playing the entire time. Where she just goes around the entire house. She finds Grandpa, jumps out of 2 windows. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, she jumps out of 1 window.
She jumps out one window
from the top floor too.
From the top floor.
That's a hell of a fall to just like stand up again and continue running.
Yeah, you're at least like hurting your knee there at least.
And then Sally runs all the way over to the same gas station as before.
Wild.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh my goodness, oh my, can you please help me? There's a crazy maniac with a chainsaw. And it's like, well, I don't see anything there.
There's nothing outside.
There's nothing outside.
Yeah. It's like, just wait here. I'll get the authorities.
But he didn't even say that. He's like, you gotta call the authorities. Like, there's no phone.
That's right, yeah. No phone.
Like, he literally said there's no phone, and then at that point, she should realize, oh, she should have been like, Ralph, I'm in danger.
And he literally comes. Okay, so she's waiting. She sees the meat cooking in the gas station. And then Drayden just comes back. The nice man from the gas station. He comes back with a burlap sack and rope.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole scene as well was just like, oh, that was.
It is really.
That was
scary.
not easy to watch.
Because Drayden's not really the murderer. He's not like the freakish murderer. He's the cook, mostly. He does, like, the kidnapping and junk.
Yeah, that's... I don't know.
So...
Yeah.
So, Nubbins robs Graves. Leatherface pretty much murders Grizzly. And, Drayden is the cook and the kidnapper.
Yes.
That's the dynamic. And Grandpa's just happy to be there.
Grandpa is just the guy who has some blood, and that's it.
Oh, we'll get to that. But
some tasty blood.
So, Sally... So, the actress's name is Sally. I forget her actual name in the movie.
I thought her character's name was Sally.
Was it
her
Sally?
character.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought
her
that was the character's name.
Yeah. So, Sally tries fighting back against Drayden, but Drayden unfortunately had the power of broom.
The power of broom.
Yep, very strong broom.
He
Fucking
did hit her
brushed her.
like 5 times in the head with a broom.
Don't get in between Drayden Sawyer and his broom. He will put your ass out. Sally got her ass put out.
He hits her like so hard that the broom snaps, and he just takes the stick where it doesn't have the broom side and just starts hitting her with that.
Pokes her on the way back.
Yeah, he pokes her and then starts hitting her with it. It's honestly, and then he just uses that for the rest of the movie. He's like, this is my weapon of choice now.
And then typical family, Drayden comes back. It's like, hello, I got dinner. Leatherface is there, and he's got like a housewife mask on. It's got makeup and junk.
Oh my god, he does.
He's in his little grandmotherly attire.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, dang God nabbit, look at what your brother did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the door.
Yeah, he tore up.
Look at what he did to the door.
Look what he did to the door.
You didn't let anybody see you grave robbing, did ya? It's like, no. Nuh-uh.
Also, I get it. It's Texas. They're pretty stupid, but they are literally the stupidest killers ever. They're just flat out just screaming out like, "You weren't caught grave robbing there." Now
I mean, it's not like anyone. It's not like they have neighbors.
Yeah.
They don't have neighbors.
No,
but she's saying all this with someone who's conscious still.
Cade, I hate to be the one to say this, but I don't really think they're of sound mind to really think of stuff like that.
That's why I preface saying I understand they're stupid. But still, it's a stupid thing. If he's supposed to be the smartest one out of all of them there, and he's even being like, shut up to Nubbins, like, have him stop talking, he shouldn't be screaming out with like someone who's somewhat conscious still be like,
To be fair,
you shouldn't be grave robbing.
Oh no, she's gonna call the cops on us for grave robbing.
And, murdering.
She probably wasn't listening. She's too busy screaming.
She's too busy, like, worrying about being eaten, so.
About being killed and eaten.
Not even that. Like, they don't even, like, attempt to eat. That's another thing. Well, okay. Let's just, like, fast forward a little bit here, because let's just get to Grandpa.
Yay, Grandpa!
Let's just get to Grandpa. Like,
so you see Grandpa earlier on during the initial chase scene.
Yeah.
And you think he's kind of a corpse, I think. Did he move at the beginning?
No, he does
didn't
not move. He's just sitting. He's just resting.
Sally wakes up into the hellscape of the diner. It's the dinner sequence, and which I like to call it boy dinner.
Not even that. She wakes up after they cut her finger and then have Grandpa lick the blood off it.
Grandpa was always the best at killing. So it's this feeble, like, decrepit old man, like, not even moving. They cut Sally's finger, and the sounds that play when Grandpa is sucking on Sally's finger is the absolute worst.
Yeah.
And Grandpa's just like waving his arms up and down, like yeah, as he's doing it. He's getting energized. He's ready.
You literally, like, I can imagine just him going yippee, yahoo, yippee.
So he partakes in the finger, and then they give him a hammer to try to take Sally out. This was them trying to kill Sally. But the poor man, he had energy, but not enough. He couldn't hold the hammer properly.
Did you say, like, while we were watching it, he's like 120-something years old?
I think he's old as fuck. I think he's like 45 or something.
Yeah,
Old as shit.
At that point, literally just stop giving him the hammer to try to hit it. Just, like, hold his hand as well. So he can firmly grasp it and then hit her at the same time. Clickety clack, clack, clack.
Are you looking up his age?
He is 124 years old, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
I just looked it up.
And still young.
And still young.
I'd say 124 years young, that's what I say.
You took my bit, no.
The
He
fastest
reached
goof in
into
the
my
West.
mind and took my bit, no.
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 But, so Grandpa can't hold a hammer worth shit. Sally gets away and breaks through. Cade, what does she break through?
Another window.
The second window of the night, man. It is just not easy being the Sawyer family.
That
All
was
your
the third
windows get
window.
broken.
No, there was only 2 windows. She broke through the top levels window and then, like, the living room's window.
Oh, yeah, so I guess it is just 2. Alright.
So, which, by the way, she jumps through both windows. No cuts on her legs at all from the glass. That's impressive.
Yeah. She had incredible form, too, as she went through it. Like,
She went in knees first.
The landing was a little rough, but I think she recuperated pretty good. You know,
Solid.
aside from probably being concussed.
A solid 7.2 out of 10 there.
Yeah, I'd say she'd do better than us. So, she runs down. Leatherface gives chase, and so does Nubbins. And Nubbins is a fucking asshole. Because he's just following her, like, limping the same as her, like, mocking her, cutting up her back.
Yeah.
And then, the biggest hero of the movie shows up.
Yeah.
A fucking truck.
Yeah, I love that guy.
So they make it to the main road, and Nubbins gets hit by a goddamn truck.
He doesn't just get hit. He gets run over.
He gets flattened.
He gets pummeled.
To the point where literally he's pulverized. To the point where literally I couldn't tell for a solid like 2 seconds if they just how did they do that?
Oh,
obviously they used a dummy, but like they propped him up. I like to think they propped him up in the exact like position he was in before they cut, so that he like had to stand there, and they propped up the dummy to be in the exact same position, and then they just ran it over.
Yeah, probably. That's probably what they
I like to
did.
think they
I
just
know
killed
that.
him.
No. Nah.
Just
He just murdered a man.
Just Sandman comes up. Did you kill him?
No.
No. What do you mean you're
No,
not?
I
Peter?
didn't. But I do know that for the shot that's like inside the cabin as it's like approaching him.
Yeah.
I know that I heard that shot is actually reversed, where so he starts like close to it and then they back away from him.
Yeah,
I love that.
So that's
Filmmaking
smart. Yeah.
Magic. That's filming magic.
Yeah, it's movie magic. But I don't know. I guess the actual impact, that's just the dummy. I'm assuming. That's just a random dummy.
No, the actor can actually do that. He can actually like.
That's a talent.
Multiple parts.
No, that wasn't the actor. It was the stunt double.
If they had stunt doubles.
Yeah, the one and only stunt double.
So the truck driver, a man, like in rather not the best shape, but he's trying. He's
a man of zero
good.
words.
Yes.
A man of 0 words. Very stoic, very Clint Eastwood type. Yellow shirt, nipples protruding.
Yes.
So this guy is like, the weirdest series of actions occurs where Sally gets in the truck.
Yep.
They can clearly get away.
Yep.
Leatherface is chopping at the door.
Can't get through because it's a metal door.
It's a metal door, and he chooses not to go through the window. So the truck driver and Sally get out through the other side. They run away from Leatherface, who's like giving chase. The man in the yellow truck, he grabs a wrench, The man in the yellow shirt, he grabs a wrench, throws it at Leatherface, hits Leatherface. Leatherface falls over with the chainsaw on his leg.
No, hold on. You forgot a key detail there.
What is that key detail?
A key detail that you missed there is that
they
leave the
truck. Yeah.
They leave the truck.
Driven
Leatherface
away.
not only sees them leave the truck, he's like, all right, and he just goes around and starts chasing them. They've run away from the truck, and then the guy like turns around real quick, like has no time to prepare, and just chucks the wrench at him and hits Leatherface right in the head. Sign this guy up as a pitcher, because that was
one hell of a throw.
Yeah.
Leatherface didn't get the advice from Patches O'Houlihan. If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a
ball.
He did not dodge that wrench.
Yeah, and then Leatherface falls down and then like cuts his own.
Oh
leg.
yeah.
He like chainsaws his own leg, screams in pain like a monster.
And then the man in yellow is trying to run back with
the
Sally.
man in yellow.
Sally is a solid like 2 blocks ahead of him.
She's gone.
And then a truck shows up, a pickup truck.
Yeah, and then
sees what's going on, makes a U-turn, tries to get Sally to run in. She eventually does. It takes her some time, and then they drive away. And that poor guy in the shirt is still running to this day.
So there's 2 key things that they could have done to just end the movie in like way quicker than it needed to be. They could have literally just as we said, driven away in the truck.
Yeah.
Or when the pickup truck shows up, Sally hops in, and then the guy just sits there for a solid like a couple minutes, or doesn't he like literally waits until Sally's in the truck instead of full on flooring it and just aiming it right towards Leatherface just to crash into him. Like, if you see a guy with a chainsaw chasing someone, you floor it onto him. That guy is not here to negotiate. He's here to murder.
Yeah.
And they all live happily ever after.
And they all live happily ever after, except for the yellow shirt guy, which we never see again.
He's still running.
He's still running to this day.
He's still running.
He ran into Forrest Gump and joined him on his quest.
And that was the movie.
Yeah.
So,
honestly,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think I really liked it seeing it for the first time.
Yeah, same. I despite the fact that we basically did bits the entire time, throughout the entire commentary, which you
very
can check
unfunny
out,
bits.
No, there were some funny bits. Yeah.
A tad bit. I'm saying mostly for myself. I felt like I was very unfunny, but yeah.
But yeah, you can check out that commentary. Insert here where we would put it.
Yes. Link in description. Link in description.
Link in the description. Yeah, probably. If anything, if we do make a Patreon, that's where it will go.
Oh yes.
Most likely. But yeah, you can check that out, and then. But yeah, besides the bits, I enjoyed it. I don't really have that many qualms besides like the stuff you would usually have for another horror movie where it's like a lapse of judgment.
Yeah.
And like stuff like that. Solid like tension throughout the whole movie. A solid slasher in general. Yeah, I don't really got complaints.
Yeah, it's still a solid movie.
Yeah.
I think it's still a decent movie. And it's I enjoy just like looking at it. Even when it's gross or when it's like disgusting, it's still a feast for the eyes, I feel.
Right.
And I think it's worth watching at least a second time for you, Cade and Seb.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say yeah. I just rated it on Letterboxd. I just noticed Derek did the same exact thing. I give it 3 stars. Like it's a short movie, and you know by the title, like you're gonna get a guy with a chainsaw. Like there's not much else you can expect. That's pretty much the movie.
It's apropos, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, any closing remarks about Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Good movie.
I like it.
Good movie.
I like it a lot.
I like the movie a lot.
I like it.
But yeah, that was that was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Where we don't really have an idea of what we're gonna watch next. We're still like thinking of other ideas of other content that we want to maybe upload onto this channel. And if honestly, if the audience here has any ideas, comment down below, and then we'll consider them. But yeah, I'm Cade O'Connell. You can find all my social media. I'll assume we'll put everyone's social media in the description as well.
Yeah.
On stuff that we sometimes use, sometimes we don't use it.
Very occasionally use.
Very occasionally use. Along with the CinemaDopes social media as well. But yeah.
Yeah.
I got nothing else. Someone else help me end this.
Yeah, that's about it. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Have fun storming the castle.
Bye. Have a beautiful time.
You think they'll make it? It'll take a miracle.
Have fun
Bye-bye.
chainsawing the castle. Bye.
Chainsaw the castle.